Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula, and let's talk today about codependency. Now, you might think that you don't have codependency, but you would be surprised how many people in this world do have. Some codependencies are actually very harmless, so to say. I mean, they're still dependencies, but they are not life-threatening, so to say. But there are some codependencies that are serious threats to life. Now, codependencies come from like an abandonment trauma. It comes from abandonment trauma, actually. It comes from childhood. So codependency, betrayal, trust issues, all of this are kind of in the same in the same field. Now, I will tell you what codependency is energetically, and I will help you. I will give you some steps to overcome it. Anybody can overcome. I was codependent too. Not exactly on man, but I was. And it doesn't have to be in a relationship with the man. Codependency can be with somebody, with anybody. You can be codependent on on the food, but well, no, because codependency is like two people have to be, two living beings has to be dependent on each other. You can be dependent on your cat, so your cat needs you to feed him, and you need cat to kind of to cuddle. But codependency is basically is a relationship where two people or three people or however enable each other's addictions. So we all are somewhat codependent on each other because we are in a society, we're socializing. It's not like we can be living and breathing without other people. But as long as it's healthy, I mean, it should stay that way. So I'm going to tell you what codependency is, how to find out one, and what to do with it. Usually, codependency happens with people that have low self-esteem, and because they have low self-esteem, they believe that they're needed, or for them to be loved, they need to do something, they need to serve somebody, and so they find somebody who they need to serve, to love, to take care of. For example, a couple. So let's say a man is an addict, so he's let's say not an addict, an alcoholic, so he drinks a lot, and so he has this woman that basically doesn't really like that he's drinking, but yet she fulfills her life purpose of serving him. So she caters to him when he is drunk, she suffers when he's not. They basically go on and on and on. She tells him, you need to stop drinking. He's like, yes, I will. And it's like going for years and years and years. And I've seen couples like this. Fortunately, in our day and age, I mean, most of people are more self-centered. They don't have, as the new generations at least, they don't have this huge self-esteem issues, so they wouldn't tolerate it. But there are couples that live like this for decades, not even for a few months. I even remember when I was preparing this subject, I remember in childhood I was watching this movie. It's actually a very famous movie in my culture, and it's a comedy, to tell the truth, but there was like an obvious codependency issue, and so the woman was with this man. They were married. In the movie, so they were married and they got divorced, but they still live together. And when she got an opportunity to be with the man who is much better and who really loves and worships her, she didn't do that because she was so dependent on her loser ex-husband, so to say. And it seems to be funny. In the movie they made it really funny, but I was like, why would she ever do this? And now I understand, because that man who loved her, who really wanted to give her everything, with everything that he would give her, he wouldn't give her one thing that she was dependent on, and that being a hero in somebody's life, so to say. So codependency is a tricky thing, especially because most of the time people that are dependent, they basically project themselves as this martyrs, so to say, as victims of somebody who abuses their kindness. And it's really, there is no really there's no victim in this loop. They both are at fault, so to say. They're helping each other to be victims. And usually codependency is basically people that are in a karma triangular. If you haven't heard of it, you can read about it. It's where there is a victim, aggressor, and a savior, and those three people are usually the same person. So if I'm a victim with somebody, I'm an aggressor with somebody else, and I'm a savior with somebody else. So ideally, you shouldn't be neither of those three. You should mind your own business and live in your own life. You should be self-sufficient, as I always say. You should focus on your 4 roles, live your life, experience your life, connect with people, and develop with them, but not getting into this net of codependency with them. Now, if you think that you are just codependent on one person, and once you will get rid of that person, you will never be codependent, you're wrong. It is a pattern, and that person just came to fit your pattern. That's it. So usually, how does it happen? First, let's say a woman, right? So she meets this guy, and she basically caters to him. She's trying to bring him up in the world. She's doing this and this and this to him. Then she divorces him. But she still, if she doesn't heal the pattern, she would find somebody else to cater to. So maybe one of her kids will be problematic, or maybe her parents would need a sitter, and she would basically would believe that there is nobody else who can do this for her. So don't think that that it's only in the other person's problem, and once you will stop socializing with that person, it will stop. No, it is a pattern. Probably if you will break the pattern, that person would change completely, and I saw that too, surprisingly. But people do tend to change according to our perception and our beliefs. Now, what could be for example, I wrote over here, if a woman has this tendency to teach somebody, if she feels like she's not needed unless she's teaching, she's bossing around, she's she guides a man, she would probably get a man who is probably either not very smart, could be a gambler, could have a drinking problem, or could be an addict or something like that. So she basically wants to be a mother for somebody because she doesn't believe that somebody could love her just because she is, and she will attract a man who is weak just to cater to her, to this pattern of hers. Now, doesn't mean that she could not change it. She can change it, and that man that she was educating, so to say, was bringing up in her life, can become a really strong man. Now, that happens rarely because we usually are so, we have certain expectations from everybody around us, so that does happen rarely, but it does happen. Now, on the other hand, what I saw people that were somewhat weak and useless around some people, and then they were completely different, strong and powerful around other people. So don't think that the person is this concrete. The people can change. You will be surprised. So codependency, as I said, comes from abandonment trauma. And if you didn't watch that video, please do watch it. I think it's healing abandonment trauma or something like that. I will actually put it in the description. And usually it's really not that much of a problem. So for example, you are an only child, and your parents would leave you for sometimes for long hours, sometimes for days. They would go on vacation, and you stay at home with nanny, and you kind of grew to need other people to feel a certain way, which is absolutely fine. And so needing other people is not a problem. A problem is when you could not live without other people. That's become a problem. So codependency becomes a problem when this trauma becomes a sufficient part of your life. So for example, let's imagine my parents would leave for a couple of days, and I would be by myself. They would take my brother and my sister, and I would be by myself. So I would grow up, and I would need this. I would need, like, once the parents will come back, I would have this spike of emotions. I would really be so happy to see them. So I would need that in my grown-up life. So I would need my significant other to disappear for a couple of days, then come back, and we would have this kind of this passionate affair. Now, I would not, so to say, I would not consider our relationship fulfilled if this would not be happening. So if he would be every day present in my life, I would probably won't be as attached to him as if he would disappear and appear. You see where the problem is? The problem is that I'm repeating the pattern that was in my childhood. Fortunately for me, it wasn't like this. My parents were present. My brother and my sister were obviously present as well. So there are really codependencies. Like I said, for example, if I have a boyfriend and I need him to kiss me goodnight and tell him that he loves me before I will go to sleep. Otherwise, I will really think that maybe there is some kind of issue. Maybe he's upset with me. So I wouldn't sleep until he would kiss me goodnight and tell me he loves me. Now, this is an codependency. He probably is. I have this kind of need of him to tell me that he loves me and kiss me every night. He probably has a different need, validating my kind of need for his love. So we're kind of helping each other. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an codependency, and as I said, a lot of people have them. It's normal. Now, the codependency becomes sick and dangerous when, for example, a woman needs to be ignored in a relationship to know that she's loved, or she needs to be beaten. I mean, that's strange to speak in our day and age, but yet there are some women like this. They need to feel the violence so she knows that she means something. Or jealousy is huge codependency. Like, some people make their partners like really jealous, so they feel like, oh, he really cares for me, he really loves me. That I was a little bit maybe guilty of that. Because I always had men that were energy of masculine energy, and masculine energy is distant. They don't really show their emotions like that. So I would make them jealous just to reassure myself that they do really care for me, and that was not normal, obviously. And sometimes it became not even dangerous to me, but dangerous to other parties. I remember I was dating this guy. I didn't know who he was, honestly. I mean, I assumed he was popular in his circles, but I didn't know that. I mean, I was just his girlfriend. It was not like I was involved in his life. And so there was another guy that showed interest in me. He just showed interest in nothing else. He wrote to me on Facebook, I think at that time, or something, on Instagram. And I told him I did it on purpose because they were from the same country, and they had I think they're still feuding over this. I mean, you see, for me, it was such a kind of, I had attention for like a month probably. I mean, I felt so great and superior, but it was really not called upon, so I shouldn't have done that. So these are not right codependencies, and if you have something like that, you need to get rid of it. I mean, if it's a foreplay, then it's one thing. But if you're depending on it, if you're depending on being hurt so you can feel loved, then it's a problem, obviously. Another codependency, I would say, the codependencies could be on other things as well. For example, on money, you feel like you need to get broke to start making money, or you feel like you need to be humiliated to start working out or something like that. But you see, it's codependency if it happens all the time and you need it all the time. I knew this, she was really not my client, but she was a client where I used to work, and she used to do this. She used to eat a lot for like a month, so then she would be forced to be on a diet. That's like really strange, it's like a circle that she was running in every single month. So 1 month she would really be binge eating, eating everything she could find, like really cakes and everything. Then the next month she's like starving herself. Then again, I mean, you see, it's a pattern. She was dependent on food to push her to do something, but again, it was just an entertainment in her life for the most part. When it's with another person, that could be dangerous. Now, why does it happen energetically? Because look, this is your energy level, and usually people that are codependent, they are not stable in their on their level. Usually they just fluctuate like this. So first they drop, then they go up, and they are looking for this spike all the time because they don't know how to raise themselves gradually. So for example, that's what usually happens. That's how they force the energy. So let's imagine I'm waking up and I'm feeling a little down. So what I do, I start making up in my head that my boyfriend doesn't love me, or he doesn't. So I start texting him and creating drama. I'm dropping down now. I'm dragging him with me. Then we both need to get up. So he comes, if you know, usually this is how codependency works. He comes with the flowers. No, I love you, this and this. The spike goes up. Then again, I'm falling. Ideally, I should be fine on my own level and keep myself on the level and gradually raise myself up like this. And the man should raise himself up. And there we kind of helping each other to raise. This is ideally how it should be. But again, it doesn't happen always, especially when either of the parties or both parties, usually it's both parties, don't have that much of exciting life. Again, you wouldn't match with somebody who's much higher than you. So if a man is here and you're here and you're trying to play this codependent game on him, he would never be with you. First of all, he will never be with you because you guys don't match energetically. You either will need to very fast raise up, or he will have to drop, or something like that. So it's usually the same. So if you have, let's say, a boyfriend who's an addict, or he doesn't work or something like that, don't think that you're better than him. If you are together like this, if you are in each other's life, then your energy is equal. And it was a huge shock for me because I thought when I was a successful I had a great career in finances. I was making a lot of money. I was successful, and I was dressing nice. I was like, I thought that I was a dream come true, and I was attracting this weak man into my life, and it was kind of a hit for my on my ego when my mentor said, "You guys are matching. You're the same." So he is weak in his masculinity, you're weak in your femininity. Yeah, I was super masculine, I was this and that, but in my femininity I was very weak and vulnerable. That's why I was attracting men that were weak in their masculinity. You see, we were matching. So as much as I could have tell myself, why am I attracting this loser, the fact was that we were both the same. And I would have to raise him up so I could go up myself. That's why I tell my clients, don't be disappointed in your man. When you're disappointed in your man, you drop in yourself. Unless you will stop socializing with him, then you can kind of part ways. But anyways, this is what the codependency is, and how to explain it energetically. Basically, it is a way for other person to move your energy, to boost your energy somehow. Yeah, it falls, it goes up, it's like this. It's like a roller coaster. The thing is that you could not do it yourself. That's why you need another person who does it. Again, if it's just like, oh, you haven't sent me the flowers for too long. Okay, I will send you flowers. That's fine. I mean, it's not like, not super dramatic. But if it's I remember this couple. I mean, they were my clients in my limousine business long time ago, and they would I don't know what was their thing. They were in an open relationship at that time. It was not as okay, I guess, and that those open relationships were giving them some kind of boost, some kind of euphoria. I'm not sure what it was, but it became dangerous at one point when they started involving a lot of people in this, in their kind of drama. And it again, you you need to manage your energy on your own, but first you need to get rid of the codependency. I mean, I would ideally what I could tell you, if you make your energy strong and you balance your life, you will get rid of all codependencies. You wouldn't have time for them. They will appear from time to time, but for the most part you will drop them, you will see. But obviously we're not going to, it's not as easy to do that, so let's go through steps. As I said, codependency do come from childhood, so it's done thing. I hope you are not sitting here and crying that, oh my god, my childhood was terrible. Look, you choose your childhood. I hope you understand that you chose your parents. If you don't believe me, watch the video Relationship with Parents. I do explain that it's a child chooses where he or she is born, where he or she, who are the parents, who is the society, whether you have sisters or brothers. So you are choosing your default kind of avatar. You choose everything where you will be. You are choosing it for your higher purpose in life. So it's not just because. Now, because you chose it, you kind of just accept it and then decide that you need to fix it to move on. Again, as I said, a lot of people don't want to fix it because they don't see a problem. They see a problem in the society around them instead of in them. Again, if everybody is taking advantage of you and you are still with these people, I mean, maybe the problem is not with the people that take advantage of you. Maybe the problem is in you. Taking responsibility is the first step in anything. Now, so what to do basically? Now, some people, they like codependency because they like to be perceived as these martyrs. But remember, martyrs are martyrs for a reason. They're usually unhappy people with very sad stories that sacrifice themselves, and usually people don't like them much while they're alive. They do like them when they're unalived already. So you don't need to be a martyr to be recognized, to be appreciated. You can do it in different ways, and I think in all the generations you can see it often that people will just put their life just for the sake of others. Don't do that. I mean, obviously you're not helping neither yourself nor others. You're just making others weaker. So scratch it off completely. You are not where the goal is not here to become a martyr. The goal here is to become a self-sufficient feminine woman that attracts strong masculine partner, grow with him, and just enjoy your life experience and benefit the society. Maybe create something, create kids or some kind of project. So our goal is to experience life, not to become something that you don't want to become. Now, another thing that before I will tell you what to do, you need to remember that most of the time codependencies are built on an illusion that if you will not help the other person will not make it in life. And I will tell you that it's not true. That is a huge illusion, and usually our mind just keeps that illusion for us to keep with this game. That won't be, trust me, they will be fine. Honestly, even if they are not fine, it is not really your business. You're not the parent to them, and they are not little children. So remember, it's only a parent's responsibility to their children until the age of maturity to take care of them. If you're with the grown-up person, you don't need to take care of them. It's actually wrong, especially if you're a woman and you're taking care of a man. You are making him weak. You're not helping him. You're making him weak. What you're doing, you're basically just stroking your ego and just ensuring yourself that you're such a wonderful person, which has nothing really to do with being wonderful. It is just you running in your pattern that no raising you up, neither developing you nor raising you up. You know, you must understand. So if you have this belief that and I had, because I'm highly empathetic, as you know, I'm a manager of water. So I often thought, well, if I will not do it, how will the people will be without me? Like, I remember even when I start working in my finances, I mean, I would do things for people that were not called upon, and at the end I would only get in trouble because I do something for them. They obviously don't appreciate it, take advantage of me, and I felt good that I'm such a great person. I'm just helping everybody, you know. I mean, what? And when I understand that this is not really helping, this is feeding on their weaknesses, and they stay weak, I'm not moving forward. I mean, what was that? It was not. Thankfully, I had rather strict bosses, so to say, that that kind of explained to me a few things. And I will tell you, I became much more helpful and much more appreciated when I stopped with this helping others or they will not survive thing. When I actually I started bringing value instead of being a crutch to them. So now stop with that. Nobody is going to everybody has their own experience in life and their own it is not up to you to decide how the person going to live. You see, we all have to find the balance, the happiness, the pleasure, the love, the stability, the security in us. So while you're providing, let's say, security to another person, he or she will never find it in themselves. So what are you doing? You're doing a disservice to that person. Stop playing a martyr. Stop playing a god. It has to go. Now, as I already mentioned, codependency comes because of low self-esteem, and this is something you need to work on. Please do watch my my video on self-love and heal your inner child. Somehow, I mean, do my meditation, but this is where it's coming from. Usually people don't believe that they deserve something. I actually have a friend in Miami, and she married really, really wealthy man, and she almost didn't believe that it could be true. She was always working in corporate just like me, and she couldn't believe that she just doesn't have to do nothing. So she basically started almost serving him, cooking, cleaning, and he didn't want it, that wife. I mean, the man is wealthy, he can afford he can afford the housekeeper, he can afford, and at one point they start having issues because her self-value was just she wanted this pattern, she wanted to serve, and he didn't want the server. So she had to adjust very fast to stay in this marriage. Now, again, if you have low self-esteem, low self-value, low self-love, work on that. Serving others will not raise your self-value. It only will keep you in this loop of a pattern. The same, obviously, if you're with the man and you believe that you need to do particular things for him in bed or outside of bed, obviously you're wrong. A man chose you for a reason, not for your service, but for you alone. Keep that in mind. All right, so you need to, first of all, what you need to do, you need to find out whether you have a codependency. Now, again, codependency is a pattern that repeats itself all the time. As I was saying in the video about betrayal happens infrequently, usually, unless it's a codependency problem. So if let's imagine you completely forgot about yourself for a few years, you were like really into your family or something like that, and then suddenly you found out a man cheated on you, and you're like, it's because you see, it's not a pattern. It was just it was something waiting to happen because you were putting so much effort, you forgot about yourself, you start betraying yourself. This is what happened. Now, if you're living with the man and he's cheating constantly, then this is a pattern. This is a codependency issue. Probably when a man cheats on you, then he begs you for forgiveness, I don't know, something, or maybe he buys you a huge present, and basically you guys live from one betrayal to another. This is codependency, and you need to get rid of it. Now I put it over here. Find out whether you have codependency. It's usually, this is how you find out whether you do or not. Usually when you think about another person more than about yourself, this is the person you have codependency with. And if you think, no, we're just good friends, or no, but this is my parents, or no, but this is my children, or this is my significant other. No matter who this person is, if you're thinking about them and their problems more than about yourself, you're codependent on that person. I can guarantee you that. I am 100% sure. I'm not sure how to explain to you. You see, your energy should be within you all the time. If you start, if you are invested in another person, first of all, you invade in their space. Let's start with the energy space. You're completely out of your energy space. Why are you there all the time? Is because you dependent on particular patterns that happen with that particular person. Now, why is it so hard for some people to admit that they're codependent? Is because they're usually in a victim state and they believe that they do everything right and another person is just is just something they have to do. It's basically they just so righteous about themselves, like they know that they're just perfect. That's what it is. But I will tell you, if you think about another person and their problems more than about yourself, you're in a codependent relationship. Whatever you will tell me, you are. And if you want, you can go to a doctor and they will give you this diagnosis, but this is just how it is. So once you will accept and you will be like, yeah, I think you're right, I think I am codependent on this, on whoever, on my man or on my parents or on my children. Again, with children, you know, you need to take care of your children, but you could not, but they're their own individuals, especially when a child is like 11, 12 and separates from your energy and forms his own or her own energy. You kind of need to focus more on your life and allow the child to focus on his life or her life. Okay, so you found out that you're codependent. Now, realize that this pattern does not work for your higher development. Whatever you will tell me, we all have a goal, and your goal in life is not to cater to others, is not to go low up, like up and down like this in energy. Your goal is to raise the energy like this. Your own energy has nothing to do with anybody else. So you basically going through life, yeah, you're socializing with people, yeah, you probably have a partner, a long-term partner, hopefully. Yes, you have children that are with you for some time, but all these people, they only helping you to develop. You're not depending on them. You see, if at one day they decide to go and live in another planet, you still will be fine. You'll be like, thank you for being in my life, thank you for helping me developing. You know, I will continue on my own because you guys made the choice to go and live in another planet, like this. This is how you should think. Your higher ultimate goal is always your own personal development, nothing else. Your higher goal is not to cater to your drunken boyfriend, or not. Your higher goal is not to provide security for your grown-up kids. Remember this. Your higher goal is only to develop yourself. As selfish as it sounds, that's how it's supposed to be. If you are supporting your grown-up kids, you only see their weakness. You don't see their strengths. Are you helping them? No, you're not. You basically, you codependent on them. They're codependent on you. I mean, once you're gone, what will happen with the child of yours? And I had clients like this. They go through money very fast after the parent is out. And trust me, I saw people would waste 2-3 millions and become homeless within half a year, just because they were codependent on their parent and the wisdom of their parent. And once the parent is gone, that's it. I mean, I worked in finances, I saw it. So you only feeding on their weakness. Now, if you here I already mentioned this, if you think that if you will avoid that person, it will solve the issue, you are mistaken. It won't, because it's a pattern. So you need to realize what the pattern is. That person right now just serves you by being a part of the pattern. You don't need to change the person. You need to change your behavior around the pattern. So let's imagine you're living with the guy who is an addict. Let's say he watches porno all the time, and you're like, you don't like that, and you believe that he's addicted, and so he tells, oh my God, I'm addicted, I don't know what to do. So you're trying to change him. You're basically enforcing some kind of rules. Okay, so you are not watching no more, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and the guy's like, yes, I will do it, and then he basically starts watching again, and you're going all crazy, and you guys just like this, on and on and on. Okay, so you shouldn't be changing him, you should be changing the behavior around what he's doing. So let's imagine you walked in and he's watching the indecent kind of videos. So your behavior would be, how could you, something like that. Instead, you should basically say, okay, I mean, that's fine, can I join you? Okay. Or should I leave you alone? Like this. You see, you need to break the pattern. Why are you upset when he's watching these videos? Is it because you believe that he wouldn't love you, or he doesn't find you attractive? I mean, not everybody is really against this. So you need to change the behavior in that particular pattern yourself. It has nothing to do with the other person. The other person is just helps you to develop. So you come in and you're like, no, I know he loves me. He probably is watching just to learn something new, or maybe he's just bored and he wants to watch. So maybe he has some kind of fantasies. Let him watch it. Like this. You need to change the behavior. Then you need to become seriously strict with yourself and your actions, and you need to make sure that 80% of your time you're focused on yourself. Even if you are, let's say, you're with the child at home, and the child is basically still small one, let's say 3-4 years, 80% of the time you need to be focused on yourself. You don't need to ignore the child, you just need to be focused on yourself. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Both of my parents are energy of air, and when they were with us, they still were not completely. They were focused on themselves and their kind of their visions and their ideas. So the child is playing, and you could be, I don't know, listening to some kind of videos, development videos or something, or maybe creating something. If you notice, a child usually pretty calm when the mom is calm. So 80% of the time, now if you don't even have children, there is no excuse. You can force yourself not to think about your man 80% of the time. You can do that. It's not that hard. I did that. And usually we think about others when we need some kind of boost of energy. So get yourself a boost of energy. Maybe go for a walk or eat something delicious, cook for yourself, I don't know, buy yourself something. So this is non-negotiable. You need to be really strict with yourself. 80% of the time you need to focus on yourself. Now, just as a thought, right? Decide what your life would be ideal. If you would live in an ideal world, so you have all the money in the world, you have the best man around you, whatever your ideal world, you live in a like a perfect farm, you have your farm animals, I'm not sure what you're into, right? So if you have this ideal world, would you really waste your time enforcing your rules on others? I mean, would you really spend time fixing a man or something like that? I mean, in the ideal world, when you have everything you want, you wouldn't even be doing it. Usually we fix others when we could not fix our own life. So if your answer will be like, no, God, no, I will be done with him, then this is like your hugest indicator that the man is just serving the purpose, and once you're done with him, he will be just fine on his own. So since you understand that man is not your kind of is not your whole life, that the life could be completely different, completely more rewarding, next time he's doing something, you would need to change your behavior around him. So okay, if you caught your man watching pornographic videos, okay, that's fine, but let's imagine that your man is an addict, or maybe he has a drinking problem. So he comes home and he's like all drunk and he couldn't stay on his feet, and usually you would just drag him to bed, undress him and let him sleep it off. But this time you wouldn't do it. So he comes in, he just drops next to the door and let him sleep there. I mean, what could happen? Nothing. I mean, he's drunk already. So he will wake up in the morning. What you should do, you should basically act as just continue with your life. You will see. A man will start he will feel shameful and guilty. You see, when you shame him, he doesn't feel guilty. He wants to defend. But when you don't shame somebody, they do feel guilty. He wakes up and he's next to the door, laying in not a very presentable way. I mean, and you're all this beautiful and happy. I mean, what is he going to feel? He's going to feel shame and guilt. So you would leave him there, and you will see that next time he wouldn't get drunk that much. If he will drink, he will basically come and he will get himself to bed. So you need to change the pattern, not the partner. You need to change your behavior around the partner. And I put over here, codependent patterns depend on your involvement. If you will stop getting involved in codependency, in this pattern, the pattern will fall apart, just like a card house. You will see. I did it myself a few times. So what you need to do, you need to basically catch yourself in the moment and do the opposite of what you would do. What I did was men. Again, I was dating men that are distant because my parents were energy affairs, so I like men that are like this. But it wasn't always an easy thing to cope. For example, a man disappears for 3 days. I don't hear from him. He's not texting. I mean, he doesn't call. It's kind of like a little nerve-breaking. I mean, I don't know. Is he alive even like this, right? So, so when he would reappear, I would be like, where have you been? How dare you to appear now? I mean, I've been worried sick about you, something like that. Now, how I broke the pattern, I was like, when he reappeared 3 days after, I would just act like normal. Like, I mean, he's not my husband. Do I have any kind of hold on him? No, I don't. So I would just act like normal. He would like, I remember this one time he wrote, "Hey, what are you doing after work?" And I'm like, I didn't say nothing. I'm like, I'm nothing, going home. I have some stuff to do. And he's like, let me take you to dinner first and then we'll take you home. I'm like, okay, fine. That time I was not yet driving, so it was fine. I mean, taking Uber or taking him to take me home, that was fine too. So he took me to dinner. I wouldn't say nothing. I was like, I made myself a promise. I wouldn't say nothing. I was just like enjoying myself. I really was. First of all, I was in a good mood. And second, I mean, I was happy to see him. I like the guy. And so we're having dinner. And he's curious. How come I'm not complaining or blaming him for nothing? And he was surprised. After that, he never disappeared again for this long. He would always text me something. You see, because I broke the pattern. And the pattern didn't serve me no more. Yeah, I had the different kind of patterns with different people, but this was like a really bright example. Why? Because the pattern with him never repeated again. He never disappeared. So even if he would disappear for a day or so, he would write in the evening, which was very strange for him. He would write, hey, he would go sometimes to the auction with his friends. His friends had dealerships, so he would go and he's like, hey, I was on the auction the whole day. I hope you missed me, something like that. And it was interesting how the pattern really disappeared once I decided it doesn't serve me no more. Now, codependency will not exist in your life if you have a very balanced life. So, for example, there is 4 roles in a woman's life, there is 4 roles in a man's life: a woman, a wife, a mother, and a creator, right? So if you have all these 4 balanced, so if somebody in one of the roles will not behave properly, you wouldn't depend on them, you see, because you have other roles to fulfill and you kind of don't have time to do this. So what I suggest you to have a kind of a balanced life. Once you have a balanced life and you're strict with your thinking, with your energy and with your actions, I mean, there's just nothing is impossible for you, honestly. And I am the living proof of this. I was such an empath. I was like, I believed I had particular friends that I just thought that they would never make in life without me. I mean, at one point I was like a helper for everybody. It was just, it's painful, because you don't live your life. Everybody who texts you or writes you wants something. They always need you to solve their problems. I mean, this is not normal. Right now I have friendships with people that I just socialize. I mean, I'm just getting inspired. With men, my relationship with men are completely different now. Now they are providing for me. My relationship with my family is amazing. I mean, it always was good, but it is completely amazing. So I want you to I want you to know that you can break all these patterns, and you don't have to be codependent on anybody or anything. Now, I started with this and I'll finish with this. I do suggest that you work with your energy. When your energy is strong, all your energy fields are strong and vibrant, you will never have a codependency issue. Never. I guarantee you that. It was somebody told me this long time ago, one of the, not even mentors, but it was one of the people that so I'm a Reiki master, as you know, and one of the people that I was studying together, and she said, a person with a strong energy will never be codependent on nothing because they dependent on their own energy. And it sit in my head for so long. I asked my mentor, and she's like, yeah, but this is kind of logical. So remember, if you have a strong energy and you can basically deal with everything yourself, you can enjoy yourself, when you're self-sufficient, when you're strong like that, you will never be codependent on anybody, honestly. And I see it with my clients. I see with women that I work, that a woman with strong energy that is within her is just basically limitless. And this is how I got into energy. I told you in other videos, when I was not yet acquainted with the energy and with its work, with anything, I actually paid somebody to do energy alignment on me, what I do on you in the beginning of the month now. And when she worked on me, I felt like even a little high, so to say. For the whole month, I was just like, everything is good. Why am I looking for problems? Everything is just so perfect. And I started this energy alignment because I had problems with my man, and he miraculously reappeared in my life, and he wanted to be with me. Why? Because I basically didn't need him for my sick patterns. I just wanted to enjoy my time with him, so to say. So again, work on your energy. Honestly, you can scratch everything off. If you will just work on your energy, all those patterns will fall off just because they will not serve your higher purpose any longer. But if you're not working on the energy, then follow the steps. And again, just to sum it up, so codependency is a relationship where each of the partners are basically enable each other's addiction to something, either for mental health, some kind of addiction to some substances, maybe some immaturity, maybe underachievements or something like that. So they're usually feeding off each other, basically. It's a pattern. In the codependent relationship, the pattern is constant. So it's not once in a while, it's constant pattern. You need it all the time, every day almost. Now, codependencies could be okay, need to get a text message from a man that will say, I'm fine, or something, I miss you. To completely sick ones when they need to be almost humiliated, or I don't know, like really bad stuff. So not going to get into that. Codependency is usually with people, could be with something else, but it's another person that basically to hide their weakness will feed off your weakness, and you do the same. To escape your weakness will feed off their weakness, kind of. It comes from the childhood traumas, usually from abandonment trauma. So please do watch that video. It needs to be worked on because you could not develop if you are dependent on other people. Now, codependency usually comes with low energy and low self-value. That comes from the low energy. So work on that. Find out that you're codependent. How to find out is when the majority of the time you're thinking about another person and about their problems, their issues. This is, you're codependent. Whatever you will tell me, you are. Realize that it doesn't work for your ultimate goal of development. You need to get rid of that. If you think that if you will escape the person, the pattern will disappear, it will not. There will be another person that will reappear in your life that will need your help. If you think that another person will not make it in life without your help, you're mistaken. I saw it, and I will tell you at the end the story. People do change, and you will be surprised. You can actually empower them by stop catering to them. Become really serious with yourself. Focus 80% of the time only on yourself, no matter with who you are, where you are. Trust me, learn it from people energy of air. They can sit next to you and just look through you. I mean, they have this. Since I started studying and work in energy, I could not deal with the people energy of air. If they don't force themselves to focus on me, I almost feel it like I'm talking to an empty space. You know, they look at me and they look through me, and I feel it. So become somewhat like this. Change the pattern around so change your behavior around the pattern. If something is happening, so for example, you're going out with friends and they order a whole bunch, and then and you're like afraid that they will split the bill now evenly, and your behavior would be usually, I knew they would do this. I'm such a victim or something, and you would go home and cry and tell everybody how bad they are. Now this time, instead of doing this, why not to say, listen, I'm not paying for your drinks. Let me be the bad guy. I'm only paying for my food, and that's it. You broke the pattern. Because your behavior changed. Your behavior is opposite. So once you do that, you will see how this pattern will start disappearing from your life. Most of my codependent patterns disappeared from my life. I really don't have none. I have a couple, but they're not as significant. They are okay codependencies. Again, you don't need to be involved in this. Don't become a martyr. So I promise to tell you the story, and I will tell you. Remember how I told you that I had a client, and he had a couple hair salons, and I used to go and when he would like fix my hair all the time. And he had this brother. His brother was an addict, and he felt, so he's an older brother, and he felt like obligated to save his younger brother. He would complain about him all the time. He would always he would tell me, oh my God, without me, what is he going to do in this life? Or he would just be hopeless and this and this. So anyways, remember how I told you that younger brother met a woman, and he basically wanted to be a hero for her, and he became very successful. He actually has more salons than his brother right now. So the story is not about him. The story is about this older brother. So once he started dating, once he started opening the salons, he basically doesn't need the help of his older brother, and his older brother feels like who is he going to save now? It is so funny. So one day there was this girl. He even came to me a couple times, and he's like, oh, I'm so happy he's doing good, but I see his disappointment, because right now he feels like at loss. Like, what is he going to do with his life? Who is he going to save now? And it was so funny, because there was this woman. She came to the salon, and she was crying and something. So he take basically pity on her, so to say, and he made her his protege. He sent her to take a course on hairstyling, and basically hired her after. What I want to say, you see, it's not about the person. Yeah, his brother kind of matured and started living his own life, but this one needed somebody for his codependency pattern. So he found somebody that he basically patronizing and moving forward. Well, at least it's not bad. At least it's a woman, and when a man helps a woman, that's a little different. So if you have a codependency, please get rid of it. I mean, it's not serving you. It's not serving nobody. It's time for it to go. If you know anybody with codependency, maybe it would be good to send them this video. Maybe they can take something out of it. Again, people that have codependencies, it's very rarely when they will admit. If you will tell them in their face, I think you are codependent with this guy or something, they will be like, no, what are you talking about? It takes a lot of maturity and energy to admit it to yourself. But if you admit it, please do the steps and then heal and become better, become self-sufficient, become a strong feminine woman. Remember, codependent people don't usually become successful. Why? Because they spend too much effort and too much energy into other people's business, and that's not where you want to be. All right, that's it on this subject. I'm closing this subject. I did abandonment trauma, I did codependency, betrayal, trust issues, I think that's more than enough for all of you to heal and move on to a bigger and brighter things in life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments, for your likes. I do really appreciate them, and enjoy your day. Bye, everybody.